Hey, we hadn't discussed this, but I just saw Mike Coppinger sent out a tweet that said the Canelo cruiserweight fight may not be finalized and that he may actually slip into a Charlo fight on Cinco de Mayo. That would be a hell of a lot more interesting to me than him fighting a random cruiserweight champion. The cruiserweight thing's interesting, but not as much as the Charlo fight.
No, Ali said it. He said, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. And for me, a guy like Canelo, people say, oh, he's moving up to cruiserweight. There's danger there. There's no danger if these guys can't hit you. and I don't see these cruiserweights. I mean, Usyk would have been a different story, but he's not there. Now the guys that are there,
no, he is not. He's not beating Usyk. I don't care what anyone says. Like that's,
that's a different story. But now with the cruiserweights that you can pick from, you can get guys that are cement-footed. You can get guys that are one punch at a time. You can get guys that might have some strength, but they're not. They're going to be at a disadvantage with a well-rounded guy and a quicker guy and a smaller, more fleet guy like Canelo. I mean, the history of boxing tells you that smaller guys, you go back in the sport 200 years, whatever, smaller guys have beaten bigger guys. There's a reason for it. Because they were quicker, they were smarter, they were, more sophisticated in certain areas, more agile. The bigger guy couldn't use what his strength was, which was maybe power. But the smaller guy could use their strengths, which was speed and finesse and agility, so elusiveness. So for me, I agree with you. I'd be more interested in seeing him fight Charlo, even though I think he wins the fight. But I'd rather see that because Charlo's a step up at least, from the Billy Joe Saunders and from the Plants. He's a step up from them. And so if you were trying to build a case, and God knows people were trying to build a case that those guys had a chance, even though I say I'm not right all the time, but on this show I said no chance. Some people got mad at me, but I still, in this case, there's more of an argument to be made for the chance of him fighting
Charlo?
Yeah, the Charlo. And there's more of an argument to at least make a case for that than the Billy Joe Saunders and the player because he's got more talent. And again, I obviously I think it would favor Canelo and.
When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing.
Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. And, it's a lot of things going on in boxing, Shout out to Heavy Bag Boxing, man. Your comment under one of my videos, just let me know that I should keep going on with this boxing thing. Boxing is a contact sport, so why shouldn't being a YouTuber talking about boxing topics be a contact sport, or shall I say not be a contact sport? And it gets real rough because for a boxing purist, you see a lot of the narratives being painted. You see a lot of things going on. It's like right now it's pretty much a fake ass black code going on because of the Bud lawsuit, and I got a whole nother video for that. But I always like to dive into some of the hypocrisies in boxing, and one of them is this whole Charlo enigma and why he can't get his shot at Canelo. Now here you have one of my favorite podcasters, and if you want to really you want to cut away all the fat, if you want to look up, if you need somebody you want to look up to and respect, you have somebody that has experience with training Mike Tyson, training Tim Bradley, going on the other side of things, working for Top Rank and them, and commentating on fights, and now he's transitioning into having his own channel, like 300 and something thousand subscribers. So to be honest, can't nobody out here in these YouTube streets tell me shit that's going to outweigh something that somebody like that has to say about it. And it's a narrative that, oh, what has Charlo done? Why does he? Oh, he just went to wait around. I don't agree with him standing around waiting on Canelo Alvarez. But let's be honest. Here you have Teddy Atlas and his partner Ken. And I never give Ken a shout out. Shout out to Ken, man. You do a great job at, keeping the show on the rails and, guiding the show. And, y'all have a nice thing going on with the podcast and how y'all do things. But here you have them talking, and both of them are talking about a fight against Canelo, a Jermall Charlo versus Canelo, and they're basically saying how the cruiserweight fight with Macabo might have fallen through. And this was just last week. I was supposed to do this video Wednesday last week. I always try to do these videos on Wednesdays or Thursdays after Teddy gives his takes on certain things that I think is, pertinent to my show and what I got going on and the agendas that I have as far as supporting the fighter that I support and speaking to some of the things that's going on in boxing. Well, they're both pretty excited. I didn't hear a Benavidez mentioned. I didn't. I didn't hear an Andre being mentioned. You know who I heard? None other than Jermall Charlo. And here you have Teddy Atlas saying that Jermall Charlo would indeed be a step up to the Billy Joe Saunders of the world. Yes. Like we're not gonna sit up here and play dumb like Charlo is not the goods. He fought Juan Montiel, and as time goes by, everybody's just shitting on Charlo for no reason. You can say inactivity, but the last time I checked, he broke his hand. The last time I checked, I thought they were in negotiations here recently, but it's a lot of things going on. But as time goes by, people just pick and choose who they want to favor and who they want to talk about and who they want to paint in a light. And all these goalposts get moved when it comes to Canelo. And here you have Teddy Atlas saying, oh yeah, man, he can go up to cruiserweight, but it's not going to be looking at the way he put it. I'm going to paraphrase. Let me speak for you, Teddy. He was basically saying if he goes up to cruiserweight and fights one of them cruiserweights, it's not going to be a dare to be great. It's not. He's going to go up there fighting what he called cement-footed, can barely move. He said, you can't hit what you can't catch. And they were saying that they were much interested in seeing a Jermall Charlo fight. So let's go by their resumes. I ran down Teddy Atlas' resume. I talked about his YouTube channel. I talked about his history as a commentator. He knows talent. He said Jermall Charlo, who hasn't even moved up to 168 yet, is a step-up fight for anybody that Canelo has just fought on his road to undisputed. But I watch a channel that comes on at 9 o'clock in the morning. I got booted the other day off of that for speaking my opinion. I wasn't even disrespectful, but what I do realize, a lot of people don't really like the truth. And the truth is, Jermall Charlo should be next. And again, they didn't mention an Andre. They didn't mention the David Benavidez. These two brothers, and I'm going to point out an elephant in the room, these two white gentlemen is calling for Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo. And we shouldn't make everything about race, but I just want to paint a picture, and I just want to point out some things like talent is talent. And if you have real talent, it's devoid of color. But Everybody looking at the man Jermall Charlo like he's looking for a handout. Nobody really wants to really harp on the fact that when Canelo Alvarez got that franchise belt and he moved up out of the 160-pound division, Jermall Charlo was his mandatory at the time. Man, we gotta let that sink in now. But I heard a narrative just last week that really burned me up, because now in 2022 I spoke to the fact that now people are revising history and saying that Canelo Alvarez never ducked Jermall Charlo. And I doubled down on it and said, okay, well, we can say that Lomachenko never ducked Devin Haney. But we know that the franchise title allowed them to maneuver around those two individuals. Yet Devin Haney gets all the praise and Jermall Charlo gets all the hate. Although, if you ask which one of those two gentlemen are two division champions, the answer would be Jermall Charlo. I just wanted to keep it brief, just for my hardcores. But man, let's give Jermall Charlo a shot, man. Let's stop painting narratives. Let's stop acting like history isn't history, because a lot of us have videos out here. Your favorite YouTuber has videos out there back when it was actually going on, when it was actually stating exactly what was going on when Canelo made that move. You know, I want to thank everybody for the support. I just got my Instagram channel up. It's been up and running for a couple weeks. I've been backloading all my old videos, and I'm trying to do it to where when I get done, my most recent videos will show up the most current. I didn't want to do my most current and have to go back, and people are like, why are you posting these old videos? So you'll see a lot of my old videos. My IG channel is Mr_Bodywork, right? And my Gmail is bodyworkboxing247@gmail.com. Thank you for everybody who gives. Remember, because I don't ask for donations, I don't even have in Cash App, the best thing you can do is view and share the video. A like is like a super chat for me. So just like the video. It takes nothing. If I say anything of truth, even if you don't like it, comment. And if you're respectful, we can engage in a dialogue. It don't have to be a monologue with me just, you know, silencing you and removing your comments. I mean, unless you are disrespectful or say something that wouldn't bring the channel in a good light. Anyway, time to feed the clones. All subscribers matter. Body work.
All right. I believe you. But my tummy gun don't. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
My word, I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid on the ring. You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
Today, jump outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm gonna